The kitchen was stifling, cramped, overheated, and a world away from the elegant dining room where my family toasted my sister Olivia's graduation. Through the swinging door came the delicate clink of crystal and the soft murmur of polite laughter, the soundtrack of upper-crust pretense that had defined my upbringing. More crab cakes, Miss. Maria, our longtime housekeeper, offered a sympathetic smile as she steadied a tray. Thanks, Maria. I took one, remembering how many family events I'd spent back here with her. At least the food's better in the kitchen. I'm Catherine Chin. Not that my family uses that name much anymore. At 35, I run one of the largest tech companies on the West Coast, but in their eyes, I'm still the family disappointment, the daughter who refused to walk the proper path. The irony? Olivia had just earned her MBA from Stanford, and tomorrow she'd start working for my company, Horizon Technologies. She didn't know that, of course, as far as she was concerned, she'd earned her spot at Nexus Dynamic through pure merit. Catherine, my mother's voice sliced through the heat like ice. She stood in the doorway, resplendent in designer couture, glaring at my plain black dress, chosen carefully to blend in with the catering staff. Why aren't you helping serve? It's your sister's special day. I thought I was supposed to stay out of sight, I said mildly. Isn't that why you put me in the kitchen? Her lips thinned. Don't be dramatic. These people are important contacts for Olivia. We don't need you complicating things. And please, don't bring up that little internet business of yours. Little internet business. Horizon Technologies, valued at $4.2 billion. I had to hand it to her. Denial takes dedication. Of course, I said, picking up a tray of champagne flutes. She stopped me again. And Catherine, Mr. Harrison from Goldman Sachs is here. Please don't mention that unfortunate incident. Ah yes, the incident where I turned down Goldman's $2 billion buyout. Harrison hadn't taken it well, especially after realizing the woman he dismissed as a glorified web developer had final say. Out in the dining room, the scene was exactly what I expected: tailored suits, designer gowns, and my father glowing at the head of the table, probably mid-brag about Olivia's GPA. I paused as I passed, overhearing Olivia laugh lightly. Oh, Katie, she's still playing with her websites. You know how some people never grow up. I nearly laughed. Tomorrow, she'd begin as a junior analyst at the very company she was mocking, unknowingly hired through one of Horizon's shell subsidiaries. When she saw me with the tray, she didn't miss a beat. The help eats in the kitchen, she quipped. Fitting, really. Our father chuckled. Be nice to your sister, Olivia. Someone has to serve the drinks. The table laughed, and I smiled along, silently reviewing tomorrow's orientation schedule. I can't wait to start at Nexus Dynamic, Olivia announced proudly, Vice President of Operations. It's one of the most cutting-edge firms in Silicon Valley. It certainly was, because I built it. Nexus was a Horizon subsidiary, designed to attract fresh talent without the baggage of the Horizon name. Her VP title, a starter role dressed up for recruitment. As the evening wore on, I moved between rooms, clearing glasses and collecting empty plates while the praise for Olivia's brilliant future flowed freely. She's a natural leader, she'll be running the company in no time. Not like some people who wasted their potential. I checked my phone discreetly, a message from Marcus Wong, my COO and old friend. Everything's ready for tomorrow. You sure about this? Absolutely, just make sure the cameras are rolling. Right then, the doorbell rang. Maria answered and returned moments later with Marcus himself, impeccably dressed. Every inch the executive. Apologies for the late arrival, he said smoothly. I'm here to meet our newest hire. Olivia jumped up. Mr. Wong, I'm so honored. I can't wait to start at Nexus Dynamic. He offered a polite smile and looked past her, straight at me. Madam CEO, he said, bowing slightly, didn't expect to find you serving drinks at your own sister's celebration. Silence fell like a guillotine. Every head turned. Olivia's glass froze midair. And just like that, everything began to unravel. The silence that followed, absolutely delicious. Crystal glasses froze midair. Forks hovered inches from mouths. My father's face turned an alarming shade of plum. What did you just say? Olivia's voice was barely audible. Marcus lifted a brow, perfectly composed. I said, Good evening, Madam CEO, though I must say, Catherine, I've never seen you serve drinks at one of your own corporate functions. I set the tray down with care. Well, Marcus, Sometimes humility is an undervalued virtue. Wouldn't you agree, Olivia? This is absurd, my father sputtered. Catherine runs some tiny internet startup. Mr. Wong, surely there's a misunderstanding. Without a word, Marcus pulled out his phone and tapped the screen. The Forbes article appeared, bold and undeniable. Catherine Chin, quietly building a tech empire. The cover photo showed me in a tailored navy suit, standing in front of the Horizon Technologies logo. Tiny, indeed, Marcus said, his voice laced with amusement. Horizon Technologies was valued at $4.2 billion last week. Catherine isn't just the CEO, she's the founder and majority shareholder. The room exploded into chaos. Mr. Harrison from Goldman Sachs choked on his champagne. My mother collapsed into her chair, clutching her pearls like a lifeline. But it was Olivia's face I watched, the dawning realization turning to disbelief, then horror. Nexus Dynamic, is that part of Horizon Technologies? She asked, her voice trembling. Yes, I replied calmly. Congratulations on the new position, though there's been a small mix-up regarding your title. I reached into my bag, pulled out an envelope, and handed it to her. You'll be starting as a junior operations analyst. At Horizon, we believe in earning our way up. Her hands trembled as she opened the letter. The color drained from her face. Junior, but, I was told. You were informed it was an entry-level role, Marcus said evenly. Perhaps you misunderstood. My father puffed up again, desperate to regain control. You can't treat her this way. She's your sister. We're family. I turned to him, my voice low and clear. Family, is that what you call seating me in the kitchen? Making me serve champagne at my sister's celebration while pretending I don't exist? Dismissing everything I've built as some passing phase? But your website, my mother stammered. Processes over $50 billion annually. I said, that little website is more profitable than Dad's entire portfolio. And tomorrow, Olivia will start exactly where I did, at the bottom. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat awkwardly. Catherine, about that acquisition offer. Still not interested, James, I said smoothly, though I did enjoy watching your expression when you realized who owned Horizon. The party was over. Guests murmured polite farewells and scurried for the door. My mother sat frozen, while my father's face deepened to a worrying crimson. Maria appeared beside me with my coat. Your car is ready, Miss Chin, she said softly. I'd already arranged her retirement package, a quiet thank you for all the years she'd shown kindness to the girl in the kitchen. Catherine, wait, Olivia's voice called after me. You can't just leave. What about my job? We need to talk. I turned back one last time. Orientation starts at 8 a.m. Sharp, don't be late, we're sticklers for punctuality at Horizon. I smiled. Oh, and Olivia, the analyst break room is right next to the kitchen, you'll feel right at home. The next morning, I arrived early at Horizon's San Francisco headquarters, 50 stories of glass and steel rising above the city like a monument to everything they once said I couldn't do. From my office on the top floor, I watched as new hires trickled into the lobby. Right at 8 a.m., Olivia walked in, her confidence noticeably dimmed. Her tailored Chanel suit looked out of place among the hoodies and smart casual of the tech crowd. Marcus led the orientation, as always. When he introduced the company's CEO, flashing my photo on screen, Olivia visibly flinched. Later, my assistant buzzed me. Your parents are here, they're insistent. I took a breath. Send them up. They entered like strangers in unfamiliar territory, tentative, subdued, and finally forced to see me for who I really was. And I was ready. My mother's eyes flitted around the office, easily 3 times the size of our family's living room, taking in the sweeping bay views, modern artwork, and gleaming floor-to-ceiling windows. Catherine, my father began, trying to summon his old tone of authority. We need to talk about this situation. I folded my hands on the desk. Which situation is that? The years you spent undermining me, or the fact that your golden child now reports to your greatest disappointment? My mother stepped in, voice tight with urgency. Be reasonable, Olivia can't start at the bottom. What will people say? I leaned back in my chair. They'll say she earned her role, that she's being treated like every other new hire, which, at Horizon, is the definition of fairness. My father scoffed, though less confidently than before. This is all smoke and mirrors. There's no way you. I pressed a button on my desk. Instantly, the wall screens lit up. displaying Horizon's global operations, real-time stock prices, client analytics, international offices, data pulsed across the displays like a living, breathing machine. Still think it's a mirage? I asked. Would you like to see our last quarter's report, or the list of acquisition offers I've turned down, including one from your friend James Harrison? They said nothing. Why didn't you tell us? My mother whispered finally. Would it have mattered? I asked, voice even, or would you have brushed it off, like every science fair, every scholarship, every internship I earned without your help? My father straightened. We could have helped. Helped? I cut in. You mean like you helped Olivia, by inflating her ego and handing her a fantasy title she didn't earn? That's not support, Dad. That's sabotage disguised as love. A knock at the door interrupted the silence. Marcus stepped in, professional as always. Apologies. Beijing's team is ready for the Q2 review. I rose from my chair. My parents were just leaving. Catherine, my mother said, her voice softer now, we're still family. I met her eyes. Yes, we are, and maybe now you understand what that should have meant all along. They left without another word. I stood at the window for a long moment, watching the city below, its steel and glass towers catching the last light of day. This was the world I built while my family wasn't looking. My phone buzzed. A message from Maria. Your sister's having lunch in the break room. Looks a little lost without her Chanel. I smiled. All those years in the kitchen, watching, listening, surviving. Turns out, success doesn't need revenge, it just needs proof. That evening, as I walked the halls of Horizon, I passed the analyst break room. Through the glass, I saw Olivia alone, poking at a salad. Our eyes met. For the first time, she didn't look superior or dismissive. She looked aware. Maybe even respectful. I continued to my office, where Marcus was waiting, a stack of acquisition paperwork spread across the conference table. You know, he said, glancing over the contracts, your sister actually impressed me today. Once she got past the shock, she buckled down. She might even make it here. I nodded. Good, let her learn what I learned. Success doesn't live in the dining room. It starts in the kitchen. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's building something so unshakable that their opinions become irrelevant. As for me, I still keep a simple black dress in the back of my office closet. Because sometimes, you need to serve the drinks, just to remind people where you started. And just how far you've come.